Muy buenas a todos, gente, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estamos? Bienvenidos de nuevo a un nuevo capítulo de Vampyr, donde estamos aquí con nuestro personaje Jonathan Reed, el cual es un vampiro. Vamos a continuar la historia, en el cual tenemos que averiguar, tenemos que ir al cementerio para ver cómo van las cosas, porque iban a enterrar a nuestra hermana, según entendimos. Vamos a ver antes que nada cómo van los distritos. Ok, este tiene resfrío y resfrío. Vamos a curarlo rápido antes de ir. Y vamos a ver también, ahorita aprovechando que vamos a ir a Whitechapel, pues también curar ahí caminando, ¿no? Entonces vamos a hacer pues su medicina. Entonces vamos a ver vamos a ver, aquí tiene resfrío, y acá tienen sepsis, fatiga y neuralgia. Ok, entonces tenemos para fatiga, tiene que ser otra, y ya no tenemos para hacer más. Vamos a para resfrío. Entonces era fatiga, sepsis, fatiga y neuralgia. Y aquí era resfrío y otro resfrío. Entonces cuando tenemos de resfrío ya tenemos dos, sepsis. La que nos falta es para poder hacer ese. Entonces pues vamos a conseguir más materiales y ver si sobre la marcha podemos hacerlos. Y si no, pues vamos a tener que desahuciarnos básicamente. Entonces aquí, ¿dónde están? Aquí está una.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Do you need medical help yourself, Nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reed.
Not under my watch, Nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Ok.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Está curando y los otros sean los de afuera.
I never thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary, I can't forgive myself. I'll find the truth about what happened to us. I swear.
Ok.
Hello again, Mr. Blight.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. You doing your rounds as usual?
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Afraid so. In the war, I was always worried about picking up something, getting some infection. Unfortunately, got that fear in London now.
Throughout history, some diseases have done more damage to armies than any weapon created by man. You were wise to be careful.
You're working at the Pembroke Hospital, aren't you? That's a good enough reason for me and Oswald to go there.
Ok.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
No podemos hacer más. Y pues ahora sí vamos a tener que ir a nuestro al funeral de mi hermana. Vamos a ver aquí que hay opio. Y vamos a ver cómo vamos. Si vemos el mapa, sí, mira, podemos sacarle la vuelta por acá. Y luego de aquí ya nos vamos hacia acá. Vamos a ver si podemos entrar. Espero que sí, si no lo vamos a tener que sacar toda la vuelta.
One of them!
Ya nuestro buen Johnny mete,
Die, leech!
Aquí adentro que hay nada. Parece que no.
He's mine! Leech!
Sí, ya podemos estar por aquí.
My dear sister, I don't know if I have the strength.
Vamos a explorar aquí. Aquí porque a ver porque se escucha sonido de lo pues criaturas. Se hacía mucho escándalo la verdad para lo que hizo. Acá donde estamos. Uf, ya nos vimos de la misión. Oh, mira, aquí hay un escondite. Que ya nos dio otra cosa. Podremos mejorar rápido nuestra arma. Sí, pero nos falta. Nos faltan partes de... ¿qué dice? Una manija buena y una plancha de papel. Bueno, pues nada que hacer. Vamos a desbloquearlo de aquí y regresar a donde tenía que ser. Ok. Eso sí acá. Parece que tenemos que regresar por donde venimos. No queda otra. Oh, se cubrió. Ahora sí, ¿qué pasó? Dice símbolos sagrados y ahora cuando una vez se enfrenta a un vampiro, jamás olvide que le temen a símbolos sagrados, siempre y cuando el portador sea una persona de fe. Una cruz, una estrella de vida o hasta una rama de olivo pueden ser útiles para repeler a las criaturas del abismo, pero no será la solución definitiva. Si realmente quieren herirlos, solo hay un camino. Olvídese de las estacas de madera o balas de plata. Debe optar por el arma más fuerte contra los vampiros, orícalo. Piensa que es una coincidencia que el orícalo era el elemento cotidiano en la Atlántida. Según los antiguos y legendarios, la Atlántida se manifestaba infestada de vampiros y ese lugar es conocido como la isla de Santorini. Pagaré 10.000 libras de mi bolsillo al hombre que sea capaz de conseguirme orícalo real. Oh, caray, no. Pues quién sabe la verdad que es eso de orícalo. Pero ya terminamos el primer árbol de coleccionables. Vamos a ver si podemos completar más. Ahora, ¿dónde es? Oh, ahí hay algo. Interés, parece. Aquí dice... Lápida, las cercanías de restos de Clay Cox. Ah, pues el que matamos nosotros. Entonces, vamos a ver. Sí, llegaron. Oye, aquí hay más. ¿Me encerré? No, Dios mío. Ah, bueno. Pero Dr. Reed, por favor. Si querías matarte, pues también tenemos armas, ¿eh? Y a un fatality, ¿por qué no? ¿Esto qué? Ese ni duro. Casi nos morimos ahí, A ver, ¿qué había? Ok, ¿hacia dónde era? Hacia allá, pero no sé cómo se llega. Entonces vamos a tener que empezar a... Oh, pensé que estaba por aquí vivo.
This is despicable.
Grita que le ayude. Grita, ¿no? Oh, allá hay gente. Oh, no tenía nada. Fue increíble, ¿no? Oh, no, me mataba. Me metí un super combo, pero no entendí ni cómo. Eso fue súper estúpido, la neta. Yo digo que ni debí de haber muerto ahí. O sea, de repente metió demasiado y solo era uno. Por lo uno dijera, ah, bueno, fueron entre varios. Pero nada más fue uno el que metió así. Los demás como que se quedaron ahí viendo, pues ya los tenía tirados. Pero bueno, vamos a empezar a matar. No me bronca. Cámara, no me agüita. Ay, puse tab todo menso. Ahí está. ¿Qué es lo que quiero? Otra vez, a ver, así, no sé si ya, si lo que recogemos aquí se queda en nuestro inventario, parece que sí. Bueno, menos mal. Por aquí de repente nos agarraban entre todos, si bien perfecto. Aquí hay muertitos. Aquí hay otro muerto. ¿Por dónde están? Están acá arriba. acá no está. Pero pues, igual ya me dio. Todos tranquilitos. Nos curamos. Izquierdito y ahí está. Nos encargamos de uno no hay por aquí ratitas o algo así. Porque... ah, sí, aquí hay una. Estamos ahorita.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
No puedo creer que esté haciendo eso.
Somebody help! What do you want? Somebody help!
Ahí está, ya. Salió más fácil. Ah, ¿por qué se mueve tan lento este men? Ahí está, ya. Ya mejoró.
Are you all right, miss?
I don't know. Who were those people? They wanted to kill me. Why?
They've lost their minds in the epidemic. They won't come back for now.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Xiaoxun. Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reed. I must go to the cemetery now. Goodbye.
¿Pero está en el cementerio? What the fuck? ¿Y qué hay? Tampoco no hay nada.
It's locked, all right.
No, maldita sea, parece que sí que no hay nada. Ahí se murió, mira, horrible, ¿no? Si le vuelvo a hablar ya me va a decir, me tengo que ir.
Shouldn't you go back home, where you'll be safe?
Maybe later. But for now, I need to talk to my husband at the cemetery, Mr. Reed.
Ok. Me parece que me va a decir mucho.
Since I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony.
Pues son discretos por acá arriba, ¿no? Parece. Ya no hay más ratas que me pueda comer porque me falta sangre. Oh, ahí hay un padre. Parece ser. Con mi madre.
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
No,
Why
porque
kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
No, pues sí, la mamá estaba devastada. Porque pues también cree que Jonathan ya esté muerto, ¿no?
Oh, Mary. What have I done? If I could only change one thing. One thing. This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do but accept it.
What brings you here?
I thought you could use the company. I am so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
Es la bondad misma.
She was a good person. Vibrant, full of life. She was kindness incarnate, my Mary.
You're a good person, Jonathan. And a young Ekon. A newborn cast into the night without so much as a candle to guide your way.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
¿Cómo puedo hacerlo? Dígame cómo. Estoy aprendiendo todas las noches.
I'm learning. Every night is a new lesson. What I am, what I must do to survive. But my sister, she shouldn't have suffered because of my weakness.
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
Seguiré su consejo.
Thank you, my lady. I will.
Good. But be careful. If I found you here, others may too.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
Un vampiro se va a confesar. ¿Qué le vamos a decir al padre? Soy vampiro, maté a mi hermana, soy troll. Acompañado de un jaja XD, ¿no? No hay más cositas aquí. ¿Habrá abajo? No, no hay nada. Aquí a ver si ya puedo crear más. Parece que sí. ¿Cuántos eran? Fatiga, sepsis, fatiga. A ver, entonces 1, 2, 3, 4. Una para bronquitis. Ok, parece que ya estamos. Solo para la resistencia. Pues no nos vamos a hacer ninguna de esas cositas. Entonces, a ver acá, hay cositas. Ok. Y parece que así ya no nos enfrentamos a nadie.
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion. Shed your skin, forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon?
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
Uf. Ese se ve que está bien
These
macizo.
immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel.
Reverendo Crane. Se ve que también es merece. Wow, casi no le hizo daño, what the fuck. Está también bien macizo. Lo que mete, lo que mete. Nótese que su arma es una cruz. Ay. Que sí
This
costó.
man stunned me with his faith. His crucifix. This is not good news.
O sea que aquí hay otros vatos que tienen más fe o algo así. Entonces nos hacen caca de más rápido. ¿Poco hay gente ahí? Ah, sí, hay un vato. What the fuck, ¿no? Con ese men ahí disparándome, yo ni enterado estaba. Y cabe recalcar que esto está en Whitechapel, entonces probablemente está jodido, está salado el tema. Cuando necesitas curación, parece que no, compañero, está bien. Y tú eres... Ay, es Camel.
Hello again, miss.
Sí, no nos va a hablar. ¿Cómo se encuentra?
Tell me, Camellia, how are things now the dispensary is closed?
Sí, no va a decir nada.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Vamos a preguntarle a él.
Good evening, Mr. Nethercott.
And good evening to you too, my good sir. Can I be of any help?
Boca no le podemos preguntar.
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
The strangest thing about her is that she was much more than a nurse for these people. Almost a symbol. How intriguing.
Y pues ya, parece que es todo. Ok.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
De la iglesia.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know
help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
Tengo palabra para unos.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
Solo quiero que sepa que la quería.
Just know, I cared for her.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
La asesinaron.
She was murdered.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
Me siento
I feel responsible. The pain is consuming me.
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What would you like her to know?
Prometo encontrar respuesta.
I'm so sorry, Mary. I promise to find who is responsible for all this. I'll put an end to this horror.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Have you any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Without a proper investigation, her death will go unpunished. Another Whitechapel tragedy. One that people need to hear about.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
You look so pale, my...
Good evening, Christina.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
What do you know about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I paid my respects when she got killed. She died far from her country and from her family. It is a sad story.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
¿Por qué tanto escepticismo?
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Tiene razón.
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Okay.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
¿Quién falta? El de este saludable.
You again? What do you want this time?
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I won't deny. I was shocked when I heard about her death. People respect nothing anymore.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
You survive at any cost, even at the expense of others. Perhaps that's just the law of nature.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Yo y Barrett solían ser buenos amigos. Okay.
Can I offer you my medical expertise, Mr. Peterson?
Keep your medicines for others.
There is a thin line between pride and stupidity, sir. Please take this medication. You'll feel better.
All right. I'll take it then. It's not like I don't appreciate the gesture.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Cheap prop. Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Do you have any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Sad, of course, but I won't cry for her.
Why are you so indifferent?
I never trusted what she was doing with that dispensary. That kind of generous behavior always hides something.
Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody will be fool enough to stand against the Wet Boot Boy.
Do you need help, sir?
To be honest, I'd prefer you take a look at my stuff. I'd rather be rich and sick than the contrary.
I don't quite agree, but I won't argue with you. Please, take this. You'll feel better.
Really? Free? Don't take it personally, but charity usually comes at a price. Human nature being what it is.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Ok, entonces aquí ya hemos curado. Nos falta él y ella, pero ella está perdida, básicamente. Entonces vamos a ver ahora. Pero tenemos que darle.
The wet boots will be proud of me.
Yo que se vato mete demasiado, what the fuck. Y antes no había personaje. Estaba este personaje. Uy, aquí. No, 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 quítate, quítate, quítate. Casi pillamos ahí, nos encerró el regacho. Ay, quítate. No, otra vez no. Ahí está, ahí está, ahí está, ahí está. Uf.
Lord, give us the beast must die. God walks with me.
A ver si eso lo calla tantito. Oh, si lo perdimos bien. Estuvo. Uf, casi pillamos, La verdad, ¿para qué negarlo? Estamos muy cerca de morir. Hay alguien acá. Me están matando ahí abajo. Oh, estas cosas ya están fuertes. Ay, Dios mío. Creo que fue mala idea meterme entre ellos. Uy. Estamos casi... ¡Uy! ¿Y ese güey a qué hora apareció? Vamos a tener que matar al de Catarata. Vamos a pintar sangre y ahorita nos enfrentamos al otro, porque si no, vamos a pillar ahí nomás. Y no le dio. Oh, qué ahora sí vamos sobre ese men. A ver qué tal. La verdad es que se veía mucho más fuerte, pero me parece que no fue tan fuerte. A ver, ahora sí, dead inside. Keep out. Y ahora sí regresamos a donde íbamos. La verdad es que no entiendo por qué ya no está tanto así. A ver, vamos a ver. Sí nos vio. ¿Por qué no puedo agarrar esta cosa? Bueno, ahorita la agarro. Parece que no nos escuchó. Ok.
See how he's dressed? Looks like an aristocrat. Freeman shall
Oh, maldita sea, tira que oh, es que mete mucho ese maldita sea. Casi morimos ahí, Los vatos ya están más difíciles, la verdad. Pero el modo para poderlos detener, derrotar, pues nada más sería ayudarlos. Uy, ahí me disparan. Hola, ¿qué hace, no? ¿Me dispara o qué hace? Nos curamos otra vez y ahora sí vamos al hospital. Dejamos que nos pegaran.
Remorse and pain are precious when binding you to the earth. You. I remember you.
Ahí está. Se ve con cuernos y todo.
Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
Basta de acertijos.
Riddles and rhymes. You took my life. Now you insult my mind.
Be stilled, my child. I bring understanding.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
Vamos a ver antes qué es lo que nos dio. Vimos un suelo por ahí. ¿O no nos ha dado? ¿O qué hicimos con él? Pues hablar con Edgar a ver qué nos dice su ansia.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stone, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
¿Y ahora qué pasó? O sea, ya se enteraron que Edgar tiene aquí un vampiro. O sea, nosotros. No, parece que ya no hay nada que podamos agarrar nosotros. A ver, ahora sí, ¿qué pasó?
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well. I'll help you.
Jonathan, please. I can't rely on anyone else. And this concerns you as it involves vampires. Someone has taken advantage of our more liberal tendencies here.
In what way?
Jonathan, I may turn my head when you or her ladyship indulge, but I will not allow this place to become a nest for street feeders.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Rest assured, I will protect you and your staff.
McCullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this. Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Antes de ir allá, vamos a ver si no podemos hacer o recoger más cosas y ver primero también cómo quedó ahí, ¿no? Porque me imagino que sí debió quedar. ¿No? Sí. Dios.
What on earth happened here?
Sí, se ve que estuvo pesado, ¿eh?
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Can you tell me anything about recent events at the hospital?
Before the shouts and the noises, I think I heard whispers coming from the stairs. 2 voices, maybe more.
Did you recognize the voices? What did they say?
I couldn't hear. Sounded like they were arguing or something.
Okay.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only entered the room when they asked me to clean up the blood.
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but... well, maybe it was him.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Sí, Diane, por ahí está. Oh, ella es la muerte.
Oh, Jonathan. I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman. Butchered by some savage scowl.
Soy parcialmente responsable.
Yes, and I'm afraid I'm at least partially responsible. The man, the scowl, I brought him here.
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent, for there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
Enorme.
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
¿Qué es Ascalon?
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Is this a sign? The hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Okay.
Have you embraced this woman? Like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life, unless they ask.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
Thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon.
No está el de la entrada, el que se supone que es el conductor. Ese señor me cae bien, pero no sé dónde esté, creo que...
Patients are not foolish. They know we are overwhelmed.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Can you tell me anything about the recent commotion in the hospital?
It's a tragedy, pure and simple. The hospital is meant to be a safe haven to all. We failed the people who trusted us with their care.
Do you think I should not have brought Mr. Hampton back here?
It's not your fault. You rescued that poor soul. It was the Christian thing to do. But we should have noticed his instability.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Ahí está, ya llegó.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Someone killed Miss Jones in her room, and Mr. Hampton's gone missing. Doesn't take a genius to piece it together.
You don't seem shocked by any of this.
Why should I be? Whoever did this must be long gone by now. And besides, he got rid of the old bag.
Caray.
Goodbye, Milton.
Y que afuera no hay gente. Pues sí, pero no podemos hablar con nadie. Yo creo que lo que vamos a hacer ahora es pues subir y subir algunos puntitos a nuestro personaje. No sin antes, claro. No puedo hablar con él.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Please, tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital.
I heard Miss Jones call for help from her bedroom. There were some loud noises, like people fighting. All of a sudden, it went quiet. And then a nurse started screaming.
Do you know who the nurse was?
Not sure, but I think it was Nurse Hawkins.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
You what about the...
Esto ya lo preguntamos.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Es que de repente se movía.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Can you tell me anything about the recent commotion in the hospital?
I'm sure it was not your fault, Dr. Reed.
My fault? What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. It's just... I heard it was you who brought the murderer inside our walls. But you couldn't know, could you?
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Le empieza a caer mal,
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Do you think Dr. Strickland has any chance of curing the Spanish flu by himself?
His wish to cure the sick is not driven by pride, but by an idealistic view about our mission here. Honestly, I don't know which is worse.
You consider him a good practitioner, yet you will not report his methods.
Strickland may be a rival, but I will not use dirty tricks or regulations to prove him wrong. We are doctors, not politicians.
Evelyn emplear las normas de paz denunciadas por su rivalidad. Okay.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Okay. Y acerca de los eventos recientes del hospital.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Nothing like this would have happened if we'd had enough staff and proper shifts.
So you don't think the blame is ours?
We all hold fast here, Dr. Reed. Our methods may differ, but we are all trying to make a difference.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Okay.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Is there anything you can tell me about the recent commotion here?
Many things can happen under cover of night, Dr. Reed. But I took no part in this massacre.
But did you see or hear anything?
I can't say I did. But the smell of fresh blood almost made me faint, Doctor.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Nos dijeron de una enfermera que posiblemente escuchó, pero... ¿Dónde está Hawkins? De hecho, si se fijan, parece que hay menos enfermeras que de costumbre. Nos falta Barnagan y nos falta otra, ¿no? Es porque eran 3, nos falta Pipa. Ahí está Pipa Hawkins. Hablando de...
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
A ver, aquí tenemos algo nuevo. No.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Everybody's afraid. Death has always been a frequent visitor. But murder? How can we cope with that?
As a nurse at this hospital, it is your duty to deal with these things as best you can.
Yeah. Until it's my turn to have blood spread all over the walls. I entered the room first, Dr. Reed. I've seen what that monster did to the woman.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Y ya, entonces ahora nos toca subir y ver qué puntitos podemos subir. Nosotros. Vamos a hacer una vuelta por acá y... Ah, pero ¿esto se abre? Vamos a ver qué podemos hacer con nuestra arma. Si la podemos mejorar, parece que todavía no. No, nos falta parte de maneja buena. Ok. Vamos a ver qué puntillos podemos subir. De hecho, ya si vemos, Jonathan Reed ya se ve. Pues ya no se ve tan humano, la verdad, Capacidad de sangre, gran sed. Vamos a aumentar mejor la salud. Yo creo que otro más. Porque luego de repente sí ya están bien pesados. Y confirmamos. Ok, bien, subí a 94. Vamos a ver qué pasa acá. Ok. Ya por lo menos no está tan abajo. Nos falta encontrar a este y a este. Bronquitis. Y acá pues no pasa nada, pero es a donde tenemos que ir. Y bueno, hasta aquí vamos a dejar el gameplay de esta ocasión. Vamos a ver qué nos separa en el siguiente capítulo. Chao.